I thought I would believe almost any Washington Post headline if the article matches what it says. Obviously, I'm automatically dubious. But you won't believe the latest Washington Post headline. Wow. It's a Washington Post headline, and you're not going to believe it because Junior is going to little bunny fuck you all the way through it.
Well, guys, we're going to talk about legacy.
Well, guys. Hold on, I got to bring this down a little bit. It's too loud. Well, guys.
Media and the Washington Post.
The legacy media and the Washington Post. Anything that's been around for any length of time is absolute shit, like my old man. Anyways, guys.
The Washington Post.
Yes, you mentioned the Washington Post.
Literally yesterday.
Literally yesterday? Literally? It was yesterday? Literally.
January 2nd, wrote the headline, Caroline Ellison wanted to make a difference. Now she's facing prison. Just so we understand who Caroline Ellison
is. A close colleague of crypto king Sam Bankman-Fried, Ellison, is now pleading guilty, saying that she knew what they did was illegal. Okay, first of all, we all knew it was true. We all wondered how long it would be till we found out. But that Trump and Don Jr. in particular bought into crypto like whole cloth. They were on board from the fucking start. They were Dogecoin to the moon because Elon Musk said so. Bitcoin at $1 million. This is the fucking shit. And then when things started to go south, they were like, nah, hang on to it. And then
Ellison is. She's like the girlfriend, fiance of Sam Bankman-Fried.
Right. Yeah, she's kind of mousy and weird, and they lived in a polyamorous, pansexual, largely drug-induced, cohabitative group home that they built themselves in the Bahamas.
The FTX crypto, I guess formerly billionaire, that now seems to have been caught in defrauding a lot of people.
No, doesn't seem to be caught. He's alleged to have defrauded them, but absolutely caught.
The same Sam Bankman-Fried,
the same one,
who was the number 2, I think after Soros, donor to the Democrat Party.
Yeah, because he didn't have to donate to Republicans because they're already pro-crypto. So he was trying to move them by donating to Democrats. And stifle, quite frankly, he thought he could buy his way out of some of the like Elizabeth Warren legislation about regulating crypto. And they went, nope, you can donate, but that's not going to change anything. And the funny part is that he fucked up the whole thing and was the reason why regulation will be easier to do.
Now, they want to take those funds and donate them to leftist causes rather than giving them back to investors and all of that other stuff.
Yeah, tough shit. Tough shit. What investors? What you want to put in like an Epstein fund?
But this is a person who was wrapped up in that scandal.
He was so wrapped up in that scandal.
She ran a fund that was
doing the thing, and I'm reading it here. And crypto was supposed to bail me out of my dad's prison. Why can't I break free, guys?
Involved in it.
I'm reading a thing. Little bunny, fuck you, hopping down the trail.
Close colleague of crypto king Sam Bankman-Fried, Ellison is now pleading guilty.
He's just going to do that the entire time he reads because he's an infant.
Saying she knew what they did was illegal.
Right, because she's taking a plea deal. And part of taking a plea deal is admitting guilt and being open to what's going on, so you can get less time and the like. By the way, you should familiarize yourself with this tactic, Junior. I'm just saying, there will more than likely be articles about you doing exactly the same thing. That's how a plea deal works. You admit that you fucked up and you knew it.
So she knew.
She knew that I was a sucker, racked on blow, down in the Bahamas. She knew all the time. Those weren't real bitcoins. They were just chocolates.
What they did was illegal.
Right, because that's what you have to say for a plea deal.
But the Washington Post is still trying to make her into a victim.
Let's see. Washington Post. She wanted to make a difference, but oh, sorry. I got to do it. Okay. Yeah. Caroline Ellison. Now, okay, here you go. Wanted to make a difference. Now she's facing prison. A close colleague of crypto king Sam Bankman-Fried, Ellison now pleading guilty, saying she knew what she did was illegal. Is it okay if I read it that way instead of doing little bunny fuck you fingers? Okay, good. For 4 years, Caroline Ellison and Sam Bankman-Fried worked together to build a crypto empire. Ellison ran the hedge fund, connected to FTX, the cryptocurrency exchange Bankman-Fried founded in 2019. Beyond work, the pair had a lot in common. Both were children of accomplished academics, studied math at prestigious universities, touted the importance of giving money away to make the world a better place, but also lived with colleagues in a luxury penthouse in the Bahamas, and at times were reported to be romantically involved. They were in a polyamorous fuck hive, is what it was, like 9 people. By the way, we also now know that Sam Bankman-Fried was using like an anti-Parkinson's drug as a for off-label use as a nootropic, a brain stimulant, and one of the side effects is that it makes you more likely to take risks and gamble away a lot of money, and it raises your libido to unmanageable levels. Welcome to my own personal hell. Now, however, Ellison is split from Bankman-Fried in a big way. She's cooperating with federal prosecutors who have accused him of orchestrating one of the biggest financial frauds in U.S. history. Right, that's the part. There you go. She's cooperating. So to cooperate, you have to admit guilt. There you go. Cooperating. There, I typed it. Okay. Last month, she pleaded guilty to charges alleging that she and others conspired to steal their customers' money to invest in other companies, make political donations, buy expensive real estate, charges that carry a maximum sentence of 110 years in prison. At December 19th hearing, Ellison apologized to FTX customers and investors, saying she knew what she did was wrong. He pleaded not guilty, but he's the hero in this, according to Don Jr. Gary Wang quit it. Also pleaded guilty in December. Gary has accepted responsibility for his actions and takes seriously his obligation as a cooperating witness. Yeah, both of them are turning on that fucker who's got all the money and socked a bunch of it away to fight to make sure he never sees the inside of a jail or he can escape or whatever the fuck. The math whiz is just like how it started, and her father encouraged her and sister to get into math competitions. Unsure what to do with their degrees, you can apply for internships. Ellison did 2 internships with Jane Street Capital. Bankman-Fried told her about the cryptocurrency firm he started, Alameda Research. Soon she quit Jane Street to join him. It seemed like a cool opportunity too cool an opportunity to pass up. On her Tumblr blog called World Optimization, she wrote that she didn't get into crypto as a true believer. It's mostly scams and memes when you get down to it, she wrote, but she saw value in the core technology behind crypto, which allows transactions without a bank or government mediating them. Okay, that difference she wanted to make was a anarchist, nihilist, low-end Ayn Randy bullshit, just like Junior here.
Okay, I mean, think about that.
Think about it. I've been thinking about it.
The Washington Post
is a legacy media.
Owned by Jeff Bezos.
Owned by who apparently didn't invest in FTX. Weird.
Okay, so it's the Amazon Washington Post.
Yeah, you know the guy who's actually a billionaire, unlike your dad?
Notable headlines from the Washington Post in the past. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, austere religious scholar, at the helm of the Islamic State, dies at 48. Remember? That's the guy.
That's the guy my dad killed. I have to remind you, because he's no Osama bin Laden. I'll tell you that right now. There's no Osama bin Laden.
My dad took out. It was leading.
Really? Did they go someplace nice? I hope so. I mean, he obviously put out.
ISIS He's an austere religious scholar, not a murderer, rapist.
Let's see. Baghdadi, austere religious leader dies. Okay. That's weird. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, extremist leader of Islamic State, dies at 48. This article was published more than 3 years ago. Took the reins of Islamic State, not known for fighting killing, but just 4 years later, helped transform his failing, notorious, vicious, and for a time, successful terrorist groups of modern times. Under his guidance, it would burst into public consciousness in the Islamic State, blah, 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 shocking. He died in Northern Syria, raid conducted by Special Operations Forces. Trump said in Sunday news conference, ran into a dead-end tunnel, igniting his vis, killing himself and 3 of his children. Baghdadi was vicious and violent. He died in a vicious and violent way, a coward running and crying. I remember that. The man at the helm of the caliphate was beaten back and finally destroyed during his tenure. Could come to minor yet despite the group's extremist views and tactics, Mr. Baghdadi maintained a canny pragmatism as a leader, melding a fractious mix of radical Islamist militants and former Iraqi Baathists and army officials into a powerful military force capable of overrunning cities and defeating Iraqi divisions in battle. He was a guy who could build bridges between foreign fighters and local Iraqis. Who wrote the author of the ISIS Apocalypse, a 2015 history of the Islamic State. Extreme brutality that would become the group's trademark, while his predecessors gained notoriety with videotaping beheadings and bombings of school playgrounds. He reveled in ghoulish displays of violence, often as the subject of elaborately produced videos. His followers carried out mass crucifixions, turned female captives into sex slaves, and gleefully executed prisoners by stoning, hacking, or burning them alive, always with Mr. Baghdadi's implicit blessing. So yeah, it's a fawning obituary. They just, yeah. They're voting on the floor now? They came back? Oh, shit. Hold on one second. Let's see. Hold on. Got to go back to the beginning of it.
C-SPAN. Make up your own mind.
Sure. Yeah, who actually thinks any of this shit's going to change? What happened in 45 minutes? I'm going to put this on the side once they start chalking up votes and check in on them. But they're just gathering back again or finishing that vote. Because I'm fair. Yeah, that's live.
Piece of
opening day of the vote to adjourn. Oh, they just came back in at 8 to vote to adjourn again? All right.
crap. This is the Washington Post. This is another article from the...
Oh, terrible. It'll be the part where they called him a rapist and a murderer and a killer and awful and an extremist leader and he's dead. And then they wrote this about how this young college girl fell in with the crypto crowd, wasn't a true believer, and then ended up being aware over time that she was part of a criminal enterprise and turned state's evidence against the person that the state's actually going after who was orchestrating the entire fucking thing. Why does that make you nervous?
Washington Post. Before the FTX collapse, founder Sam Bankman-Fried poured millions into pandemic prevention. He's such a good guy.
No, they're not saying that. They're saying he was laying ground cover.
Should make sure he gets off easy. And guess what?
By the way, no, they aren't.
Folks, in our system, he probably will.
Yeah, he will. Why? I thought he gave a bunch of money to Democrats, and you guys have control of the House, and you're going to do oversight.
Unlike you, or certainly not me.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, in all honesty, they don't want you. They want your dad. So you'll take state's evidence.
And
by the way, Don does know he's a little bit safe because his dad once, he would sacrifice Eric in a fucking heartbeat.
He actually did the things that he did.
Yeah, he's going to go to jail. Like she pled guilty to charges that stack up to 110 years. The fuck do you think Sam Bankman-Fried's going to get?
Most of those initiatives have come to a sudden halt, according to the Washington Post. I wonder why.
Because the vast majority of Americans are either vaccinated or have herd immunity or have both.
Because it seems as though he defrauded billions from people
who have massive coke habits, allegedly, and, thought crypto would be their ticket out of this fucking...
and poured them into leftist causes. And they're shocked. They want to put it back in there. Because guess what, folks? They're
shocked they want to put it back in there? I don't know.
Legacy media, they took their...
Dude is losing his fucking mind.
Their money to write headlines for him, in my opinion, right?
Then why are they writing headlines about her being okay and not him? Why aren't they ignoring it entirely if they're on his side that she's turning state's evidence against him?
And by golly, they're going to write them, whether they deserve them or not.
So what's this really about? He and his dad are mad that the Post doesn't even bother to run articles about Trump anymore. 'Cause fucking why?
Whether it's current or not, they paid for those headlines with probably your money or other people's defrauded.
No, I didn't. I didn't buy into crypto. That was dumb. Yeah, it's stupid. Solution in search of a problem. Massive, like you'd have to be fucking high to think. Unless, of course, no, there's a definite use for crypto. If you're a violent totalitarian regime trying to avoid sanctions by trading in human beings, guns, and drugs, or illicit violent technology, then yeah, crypto is perfect for you. Congratulations. Welcome to the financial marriage of convenience.
Money, and they're going to write the headlines. The Washington Post literally only exists to push Democrat Party and progressive talking points.
1 second. I appreciate him understanding that, or thinking, I suppose, that most of the Democrats I know would think al-Baghdadi was an extremist leader of the Islamic State. And that he looked pretty fucking bagged out at 48. And it had been a while since he'd been to the salon. Either that or he really likes tomato soup and he can't slow down. But in the meantime, let's see. Washington Post, Sam Bankman is Fried. Okay. Well, what do we know? What do we know about the case against Sam Bankman-Fried? After the demise of his FTX crypto empire in November, Sam Bankman-Fried portrayed himself as a hapless but well-intentioned chief executive who made a series of calamitous mistakes, but never knowingly committing fraud. But a day after his arrest in Bahamas, U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, Department of Justice, and Commodity Futures Trading Commission filed civil and criminal charges against Bankman-Fried, including that he had orchestrated a scheme to bilk equity investors of more than $1.8 billion. The next week, prosecutors announced that 2 members of his inner circle had pleaded guilty to fraud charges. What is FTX? It had grown into a sprawling crypto enterprise, blah, blah, blah. They describe it. How did it grow so big? Alameda initially made profits by applying traditional techniques of arbitrage to the Bitcoin market. Bankman-Fried and co-founder Gary Wang quit it, found ways to buy the world's biggest cryptocurrency on Asian exchanges where it was selling for slightly less and sell it on exchanges where it was selling for slightly more, which is, by the way, the Soros method. That's how he got rich, betting against the British pound. When he founded FTX, he promoted it as a platform for financially sophisticated traders and touted its automated risk management engine to the U.S. Congress as superior to those used by traditional market makers. At its peak in early 2022, FTX was valued at $32 billion by its equity investors. How did it get into trouble? This is the part where it becomes a love note and he becomes a hapless victim in all of this. According to the SEC, Bankman-Fried had from the start improperly diverted assets that customers had deposited with FTX for use by Alameda to fund its trading positions and venture investments, as well as personally make lavish real estate purchases and large political donations. He and Wang borrowed more than $546 million from Alameda to buy a nearly 8% stake in Robinhood Markets Incorporated, according to court papers. As the broader crypto market declined in value in 2022, other lenders began to seek repayment from Alameda, even though FTX had allegedly already given Alameda billions of dollars in customer funds. Bankman-Fried began to give Alameda even more money to cover those positions, the SEC alleged. What led to its collapse? Blah, blah, blah. What did Bankman-Fried say? Let's see. There you go. Do regulators buy that? No. According to SEC Chair Gary Gensler, Bankman-Fried built a house of cards on a foundation of deception while telling investors that it was one of the safest buildings in crypto. What specific charges does he face? There they are. I mean, it's all a bunch of leftist talking points, clearly. We're all on his side, not because of the crypto thing, but because he's in a polyamorous relationship and we're all hedonists. Lefty hedonists will let, if you have, if you live in a group sex home, we're all hands off, literally. Ew.
And to stir up hatred, whether it's racial or otherwise, to make sure you get through the extremist leftist paywall for their subscribers.
The extremist leftist paywall for their subscribers. I'm trying to figure out what that means. The paywall's expensive. So he won't subscribe to the Washington Post because he's a what?
Anyone that still considers them a reputable purveyor of journalism.
By the way, this is all because he's mad because he lost millions to FTX.
Come on, wait.
Come on, guys.
Wake the hell up, folks.
Wake the hell up, guys.
So that's
what the thing is. I'm out of time. That's my outrage. 3 minutes and 20 seconds for the week. Guys, don't let the nonsense. We can't let it happen. End of the thing. And this is what to expect when they do the things with the extremists.
your update on mainstream media for the week.
This is my job now. Guys. What the fuck am I? I'm a billionaire.
Congratulations, folks.
Thanks very much. Oh, you mean for like having a couple days where we get to watch the Republicans crumble in the House? Yeah, it's good. Thank you. I appreciate it. Way to be, it's mighty blotchy of you. Wow, that's the entirety of it? Hold on a second. Cancel.